How's it going, everyone? I know you're probably wondering why he's still going on about this ET stuff with Kim and Thomas Williams. It's really significant. This was groundbreaking. This is what they said. This was groundbreaking, and everyone was so excited. And if you'd have watched the whole video that Thomas Williams put up on his YouTube channel, you'd understand. This was massive at the time. Never ever been done before. Interviewing ETs, and these are what they called at the time the aliens from the council, representative of the universe. And of course, Kim, Ava Cowan, and Megan Martinez were Earth's representatives, diplomats for Earth. Of course, then Thomas Williams has to butt in and say, I'm involved as well. But what I've got for you today, this is Thomas Williams. Then he had another show a few days after that ET show, and he was showing, even though he's a miserable git, this is probably the most exciting you'd probably get out of him ever. To us, to us, that is Thomas for being excited, but the average Joe that has never really heard him, he'd think, well, he doesn't seem really very excited to me. Well, in his own words, he was. So I'm going to play you some snippets. It's not the whole show because it's a 3-hour bloody show. This is 5-10 minutes of him rambling on of how posted that interview with the aliens and how he felt and how other people felt. Have a listen, and I'll come back to you with my thoughts on it, and you'll see how significant this is.
Hi all, and welcome to the Truth, Honor and Integrity Show. This is now Saturday, August the 27th. Only seems like a few minutes ago we ended last Thursday's show. And that took some getting used to. I've seen some of the reactions on the page, and it took a lot for me to get used to it also. It was, I don't think until after the show you realise what that show entailed and what it was all about. Some of the plans for the now and some for the future. Some of you liked some of the plans and some of you didn't. Some are sceptical, and that's understandable. I'm kind of sceptical in some aspects of it. I've asked further questions of the council, and also some of the ladies the 3 ladies that were involved in support of the council, and so we'll be clarifying some of that in this hour. It was such a groundbreaking show, and it's probably doubled the listeners that on a normal show, if that's what this show is about. The last 3 shows have kind of been mind-blowing in its own sense. On a personal level, it would have been nice if Drake was with us. It also would have been nice if Tanat was with us. Also would have been nice that Sunfire. I know some of you mentioned that one of the ladies sounded like Sunfire. When I first heard it, I thought the same thing. Sadly, it wasn't Sunfire. I wish I haven't spoken to Sunfire, and from what I gather, now there's anybody else for the last 2 years. I'm finding it encouraging that people did take a step back from Thursday, and the page went quiet on Friday. Some may be in shock. it was kind of, normally I struggle to find the top of the hour. I checked and I thought, oh, what time is it? But after about 20 minutes, on Thursday, I thought, I can't wait for the music break, to be quite honest. Because, the excitement, in myself, and experiencing what I was experiencing, I just wanted to get off the mic, jump up and down and shout, holy F, is this really happening? Yeah, I wanted a big release. Yes it was, and yes it is, but you have to try and keep your composure and do the show as per normal. But I was exactly the same as some of the listeners going, oh my God. You know, just before it went live on air, there was a live link to the three girls and also the council. That particular mic was open. And when I said we were going to go live, there was a huge shriek. And that was the excitement of the council. That was their particular method of speech. It was very, very high pitched. And so they were just as excited as we were. I don't think people at times grasp the enormity, because if people say to me anymore, we want disclosure, please don't ask me that again. You've just had it. That was the enormity of that show. And yes, some like more evidence, and I understand that, and some want to see visible proof, and I understand that just as well. People have rights to be skeptical on certain things. Some people are skeptical. Unfortunately, I've seen signs of envy. It was me who was chosen to do the show. And that's sad in many ways. You know, it's about learning the truth, not who did it. I don't take it as that way. You know, if the Drake had done the show, I'd have been just as happy. If Corey Goodard had done the show, I'd have been just as happy. Because it's about us learning the truth. You know, the contracts that have been ongoing, not only galactic contracts, which means galactic, for those who didn't hear it perhaps correctly, all galactic councils were run and operated by the Draco. We're not interested in galactic councils and their contracts. And so, new contracts will be drawn up. The human representatives, which are the first time in history, as I understand it, and that was confirmed, on the council, will not allow Earth to be traded off without the knowledge of the people going forward. There will be no bogus contracts going off either. In fact, a lot of the contracts, the major contracts have all ended. There's some contracts currently operating on the surface that will also have to be ended. They're not our contract, they're not the people's contract, it's them again. We will need people, and there is people, the three that were on the show, plus a couple of others, that will be pushing for certain things on behalf of humanity to do with the council. They've asked for my input on certain things from time to time, and I will perhaps suggest that we increase that number around the world. I've babbled on probably longer than I would have liked, because I did have a whole load of news on general news, but perhaps It was best I spoke and give some clarity on certain things to do with the last show, and discuss certain things in the background and bring us all back down to earth a bit. I'm not too sure I have yet. Then that may be a good thing. So there will be more shows. I'm expecting that when there's significant updates, one or all of them will come on the show again. You know, some of them are involved in the financial aspects of what's going on. They mentioned that during the show. There's others involved in other things. Some of the foundation people that's connected with this particular group are dealing with certain governments. They're also dealing with certain cabal members, negotiating for them to step down. You know, the last thing the council wants or desires is bloodshed under any circumstances. But if it comes to a desperate situation where one or two individuals, or maybe 100 or maybe 200 individuals, are basically holding up the rest of humanity and have no intentions of stepping down or playing fair or doing the right thing, then they will take action in support of what humanity asked for. A lot of humanity won't be aware of it, and you appreciate it's not representative. It's never going to be representative of all humanity. Everyone has a different choice. But what you're doing now is you're voting without knowing. Your conscious thought is going out. We've said this in previous shows. It doesn't reflect back onto you anymore. It goes out. The message went out after the tech went down, and the consciousness was going out more, where it should go, into the cosmos, and help arrive. They've so far dealt with what we requested, not what they wanted. I want to make that quite clear. I thought they made it clear in the show, but one or two you perhaps didn't hear it right, or were a bit concerned about things, and that's understandable. But they will not be playing the authoritarian role under any circumstances. This is about natural law, natural cosmic law. That means that they do not have a right to impinge on the free will of humanity.
Told you. Groundbreaking. It's groundbreaking. Show. I mean, all the way through that, I mean, he still has to say, he's got the cheek to say that he was sceptical on some of it. He's going to say that to try and please, his cult. I'm not falling for this completely. That's what he's saying. But it's his crazy stuff. And he's also said that it'd be nice if Drake was part of it. Drake Kent Bailey, the other con artist that was working on Cosmic Voice with him. He was so excited that he couldn't wait for the break, the show break. He went, "Holy F!" It's massive. You can't, for something to be so massive like this, it's really odd that they don't speak about it today. A few years later. So what else did he say? He said that there was massive shriek. Sound coming from the council because they had a mic open. I can imagine that. I sat there with like a YouTube mic. See, this is the other thing about it, is that he's understanding the technology. You can imagine so advanced to sit there, probably going into one of their cosmic museums. Can we get hold of a microphone, an Earth microphone, 2020? From 2016, or something that we can speak to the Earthlings with. It's just ridiculous. Or did Kim send one up in a shuttle so they could tap in to Thomas Williams' primitive microphone system? So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it was probably more like feedback from the microphones from the three of them in the same room, making out that they were in different areas. I mean, he had the cheek to say, you want disclosure? Well, you've just had it. So that's disclosure, right? So he's excited, disclosure. The fact that you've got the first time in ever to have aliens on a show interviewed, and on top of that, people are asking for proof. They want physical proof. Yeah, of course we do. But guess what? We didn't get any, and we never have to this day. Talking about the galactic contracts, we didn't get any. We didn't see them. So, I mean, these are different types of evidence that we should have got. We never saw any of it. Then he said there'll be more shows with the UPU or council. Guess what? We didn't get any. And guess why? Because Team Bubba exposed this within, I will probably say, months. It was in the, we put it out on Twitter at the time. We didn't have a Facebook group. It was before I was in there. But the guys had put it out to say, this was fake. They asked questions about everything, and Thomas Williams was fighting back, saying, basically, you're skeptics debunking and God knows what else, and I was getting accused of being agents because you're questioning everything from that show. So it's shocking, absolute shocking. But yeah, this is why it's so significant, is because like everything else that Kim does, you join her team or you're a follower, and you'll see that she comes out with these magnificent ideas and stories, and all of a sudden it just fades away like tumbleweed. You never ever see it again. And that's what she's done. Same with the Kingdom of Mana. That come out, that was put to one side. Mana World Holding Trust, never talks about that anymore. She does talk about the trust, but it's not really significant anymore, that, she says, because you're meant to do all this yourself. She can't use that. It's all these things she comes out with has got a sell by date, or say use by date, and when it gets to that, like you do if you buy a product from a supermarket, it goes in the bin, and that's exactly what she's doing with all these things. So if you're in a group and if you're brave enough and not worried about getting booted out of Telegram groups, ask her about the UPU show with Thomas Williams. Ask her lots of complicated questions. Why don't you talk about it anymore, Kim? Why haven't they been back on? Why can't, we heard them on a radio show, which it was Ava Cowan. Why haven't you got video footage of them this time round? There's loads of questions about it. But yeah, this is why it's so significant, and they'll never mention it ever again. So if you're brave enough, those of you that are still in the cult groups or whatever, ask them that question. Right, that's it for this one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.